Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Pink Paisley Paige Evans design team. And our theme this week is to use our silhouette cameo, which is one of my favorite things to do. So I was excited to get to do this. And I searched through the silhouette store and my cut files that I have in my software, and I found these cute pie charts. I hadn't used pie charts in a while. And so I created a couple of them and kind of placed them randomly on the page. And then I chose this really pretty bright pink plaid paper from the Oh My Heart collection. This is paper number 19. And I was challenging myself to not use a white background. I love using white backgrounds and I do it frequently, but sometimes I like to change things up. And so I thought I would go bright and bold with this and start with something really bright. And so I like how the pie charts are kind of crooked. They're not perfectly straight. They're a little bit wonky. And what I'm going to do is use mostly some bits and pieces from the 6x6 paper pad from Oh My Heart to back all of those little pieces in the pie charts. And this does take a little bit of time, but the shapes aren't too hard. They're basically triangles, and it's a great way to use scraps. And I have, you can see I've already cut into several papers into the paper pad there. And so this is a great way to use little bits and pieces. Now I wanted the pie charts to be bright and colorful, kind of like, just different rainbow colors. I wanted all the colors, not just pinks. Since I've got a lot of pink already going on in the background, I wanted to kind of bring in some other colors. So I'm not going to make you watch me back this entire thing. It did take a little bit of time, but that's okay. I think it's a fun technique to do, and I think the end result always looks really good. So the fun part, or one of the fun parts about this, is going through all the papers and, just look at each little piece of it. There may be just a tiny bit of it that you could use for these tiny little pieces, because I have, two of these pie charts are pretty small, so it doesn't take much at all. And, I use that paper with the words on it, and you can't even see what the words say. So, think on a small scale when you do something with tiny pieces, because it doesn't take much. So I'm going to have yellows, I'm going to have teals, I'm going to have some of that periwinkle blue color. And through the magic of editing and time, it's all done. I even added in a little bit of black, not too much though. So now that my background is fixed, I can't move anything around. I only have a few spots where I can put my picture, and I've chosen that black and white picture of my daughter Paige in the pool, and she was just kicking back, splashing and laughing, and I thought it was cute. So I want to create the idea of some watery splashes going on. Even though I've got this bright, bold paper, I'm still going to do some mixed media on it. And to do that, I definitely felt like I needed some white gesso, and I take some time just to create a white haze, mostly around where my picture is going to go, and then around all of the pie charts. And this takes, a lot of smudging with your hand. Now, you don't have to use your hand, but I find I get the best results sometimes when I want to fade out the edges and not make it so harsh and white. I want it to kind of be hazy. My fingers are the best thing to use. So you can kind of see there, it just looks kind of like a cloud around everything. And it looks kind of drastic, and it looks kind of like a hot mess, but it does look better once you start to add the color and you start to come in with your photo and all of your embellishments. Now I picked a black and white picture because I've got so much color going on, and I thought that a black and white picture would stand out a little bit more, and it would also help the colors stand out as well. So I'm doing my tried and true technique that I love to do so much. Well, it's not my technique, but it's one that I love to do. I did not invent this. I just do it a lot, and it's the packaging technique. And I'm going to try to cover most of the white area, and I'm using some of my shimmers sprays here in two of my favorite colors. I use these quite a bit, Jenny B Blue and Well Blue Me Down, and they're turquoise and an aqua color, and they go so well together. And I'm just kind of trying to create the illusion of some water. I have this thing, whenever I create a pool photo, I like to have lots of blue, well, of course, bright colors, but lots of blue just to kind of represent the water or the sky. It depends on, what kind of picture it is. But I'm going to try to bring in some of the yellow in a couple spots. And this is definitely a little bit trickier to pull off on a bright colored piece of pattern paper like this versus white background, because you know, with the white you've got just this completely white background of color, and all the color is going to stay true to that color. When you start to add it to a colored cardstock or a colored background like this, the color of the paint you're using is going to change a little bit, or not the paint but the ink if it's watery like this, because it's just the color in the background is going to show through. So that's where the gesso comes in to kind of help that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in a little bit of gelatos, and I'm just going to scribble it down and smudge it with my hand. And since I have the gesso down, it smudges very easily. It tends to not want to blend or smudge as well if you just add it right to the cardstock. And again, the color would look different if the gesso was not on there. And you know, that's fine. It just depends on what look you're going for and what you want it to look like. So now I'm going to start in some layering. I'm going to hold off on doing anything else on the background at this point. I'm going to cut a couple of these cut aparts. This is from paper 1 from Oh My Heart, and I'm going to use these 2 bits and pieces here as layers. And I've already got so much pink going on, but I am going to use that darker pink edge as a layer. But first I'm going to cut out those little sunglasses because those are too cute to cover up, and I want to use those as an embellishment. So I'm going to cut those out, and you would never know that I cut those out because I'm still going to use that piece as a layer. So make sure you look at everything before you know, if you love to layer, check things out on it before you layer. If you can cut something out to use somewhere else, then do it, because you can't even tell that I cut that out. Okay, so now is where I'm going to start mixing and matching in some of Paige's other collections. The fantastic chipboard piece that I used there, that is from the Take Me Away chipboard stickers. And then I'm going to bring back in some Oh My Heart thickers. And my title is going to be Fantastic Day. And I love how these just kind of go together. They all look like they came from the same collection when they really didn't. Now here's a piece from Fancy Free. That's from the ephemera pack. And that little piece that says, I like your smile, and the Live a Colorful Life. That's from Fancy Free. And again, they match very nicely. This is also from Fancy Free. I believe that's paper 1. And these little flowers just matched perfectly. I saw them on my desk in my stack of papers, and I thought those match perfectly. I'm going to use those. Even though this isn't really a floral type layout, I just wanted to use those flowers. And I'm going to create a little cluster over here by my title, and I think that just sort of adds a little bit of detail to that area. And plus the colors match, and I just think it's pretty. I have not glued anything down at this point. I have to bring in my thread before I do that, and I'm going to add a little bit of yellow underneath the flowers here, and it's just going to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of pop of color, and you know, just that little messy element. And we all know I'm quite messy. I'm going to pop up one of the flowers just to give a little bit of dimension. And that's just some kids fun foam that I got in a pack from Walmart. I think you get like 40 sheets for like $5. So it's a great deal. And it's not too thick, not too thin. It's just right. Now with chipboard stickers or thickers, they tend to not want to stick very well when you've got gesso or paint or anything like that on the background. So I always like to go through with my glue and make sure those are going to stick. And I get a lot of questions about what kind of glue is in my bottle. That is the Scotch Tacky Glue. I get that from Michael's. It used to be the Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive, but I believe they just changed the label and the name. From what I can tell, the glue is still the same. And I have only used that glue in my fine liner bottle, and it has always worked great for me. I use that glue on pretty much everything. I either use this glue or I use my ATG gun. All right, so I've got everything glued down. I'm going to come back in with the Oh My Heart chipboard stickers and add a couple of little bits and pieces just around my title area. I'm going to add the hello. I'm going to add this bright orange, you're rad. And then I'm going to add this little piece up at the top for an extra little black and white pop. I just wanted to add everything, but you know, you have to limit yourself and you have to say, okay, stop adding things. That's from the Take Me Away chipboard sticker sheet. It says heck yes. And then I liked it mainly because of what it said, but also because it was a circle and I've got, you know, lots of circles going on. And then I'm going to add the Live a Colorful Life from Fancy Free down at the bottom. And I believe the little sunglasses up in the top left are from the Oh My Heart Puffy stickers. Now I added some foam underneath the Live a Colorful Life, and I'm going to add some thread under it just for an extra pop of color. And I like how, you know, everything kind of stands out on its own. Even though the pie charts are kind of busy, I tried not to add too many things to where it's just kind of like a blur. I want everything to be able to stand out. I want the photo to stand out. I want the background to stand out without overpowering each other. To add more pops of color, I'm going to use some of the Fancy Free buttons. And I'm just going to layer a couple in around the photo and then over by the flowers and down by the circle at the bottom. And I feel like the mixed media in the background just kind of softens things up. You know, it enhances the pie charts, but it also kind of softens up the background and gives some separation from that bright pink so you can really see the other colors. So for my journaling, I really didn't have a spot where I could handwrite that wasn't really, you know, covered in gesso or a cut file. So I decided to print my journaling from my computer onto some vellum, and then I'm just going to use my ATG gun. And yeah, I don't have any special vellum glue or anything. I just use what I have, and I think that looks nice because you can read the words nicely, but you can still see the color and everything behind it. So now I'm going to add my date, and I usually add the date underneath my journaling, but it was kind of textured there with the cameo cut, so I'm just going to add it over there to the bottom right. And then I'm going to come in with some ink. I'm going to use a little bit of blue and then just a little bit of black. And I hope this has inspired you in some way, either to go bright and bold or to use your silhouette cameo. You can use it for backgrounds, titles, embellishments, you name it. There are so many things you could do with a silhouette cameo or any die cutting machine. So I hope this has inspired you to break yours out and give it a go. And let me know if you have any questions. Here's my final layout. I just love how bright and fun this is. I love all the colors. I can't stop loving bright colors. I just could stare at them all day. So let me know if you have any questions about any of these, excuse me, any of these products or techniques or anything at all. I'll be more than happy to answer. Make sure you check out Paige's blog. I have it linked below, and the Pink Paisley blog, as well as the Pink Paisley store, where you can get all of these awesome collections and goodies. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.